G'day everybody. So dressed up for you again. I know, really only happens around funerals and weddings, and that's what I've just come from. I just buried one of my mate's dads, which is pretty sad. And a couple of things I wanted to share with you around is interesting when you have a connection to the person that you're farewelling. It can be quite tough and difficult. And I remember my minister said to me a long time ago when I first started, and I asked him how he handled that. He said, well, you kind of come to terms with your own emotion beforehand. So take some time beforehand to really feel the emotion and work through it so that it doesn't hijack you, because emotion does that, right? But I've also found, since having kids, because kids wreck you emotionally, since having kids, that when you feel that well of emotion coming on, it's usually someone says something that just connects to your story. Then I found breathing is helpful. Not just, breathing is pretty helpful in life, isn't it? Very important, keep breathing. But to breathe deeply and to control your breathing, because in your control of your breathing, you can control what your emotional response is. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to fall apart. It's okay to all that stuff is really, really normal and acceptable and actually okay in a funeral. But sometimes you feel like you need to say the words or move the thing, and you need to, a good way of moving into control is that. And then I want to say I found one of the most helpful pieces of advice when it comes to grief. So grief is kind of in waves, right? So people experience these waves of grief, and they're not sure why or how in the context of all of that. And so I find to say to people, like, it's okay to do whatever you want, whenever you want, because it's a response to grief. And it will sometimes like sneak up on you and you're like, why do I feel like this? I just burst into tears. I don't understand why. And that's the nature of grief. And so giving people that permission. But here's what's really helpful. In about the 6 to 8 weeks after someone dies, the stress hormones that are released when somebody dies in you, that you are there to protect you and to hold you in a safe place, when that happens, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for those to wear off. And so at 6 to 8 weeks after the passing of something else happens, and that is that everybody else that's connected to that person and to you, but isn't suffering the same degree of loss, starts to go back to life as normal. And so when somebody's feeling the depths of loss and grief, everybody else in the world is actually like, oh, we're all good now. And so I want to encourage you that when somebody close to you passes away, or you pass away, well, not when you pass away. When you pass away, it's a different ball game altogether. When someone passes away, that just be aware that 2-month mark, just be extra sensitive, check in on them, see how they're doing, care for them a little bit, like love them. And just, bestow some kindness on them and some gentleness, and just be aware that they may be a bit off and not realize why, and that's why. And explaining just this little bit to them will help them enormously think, oh, there's not a problem with me. It's not that I'm going crazy or whatever, or I'm just not working through this grief that people say. But it's actually a very, very normal part of it, because your body responds to the stress that you feel by protecting you. So I hope these kind of insights have been helpful. This isn't a channel all about funerals, even though I know I've done a little bit on funerals. But when they happen, it's part of it all, and it's really an honour to be involved. And I hope this has been helpful. Any questions, any things you want to chat about, let's put them down in the comments below and have a good old chat there. And thanks for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.